I want to share one last thought. I heard it once explained that human beings first built civilization around villages. And villages were bounded and had a center. In the village, you met each other and knew each other. In the village, you had an immortality within the village because you lived there, and when your time was up, the village remembered you as a part of the village. And then came empires, and villages were wiped out, and they were replaced by giant bustling cities where people don't know each other anymore, and there's no sense of immortality. According to the explanation, this is what Ecclesiastes meant when he said, Havel havalim, Amar Kohelet, Havel havalim, Hakol hava, utter futility, utter futility. All is futile, all is vanity, all is hollow, all is surface and meaningless, because the big city can make you feel meaningless. You can get lost in a city. In fact, you can even be more alone in a big city than in a village, even though you're surrounded by more people. You can feel like you don't count, or you're unseen, or you don't matter in the world in a big city. That's what Ecclesiastes is saying. It's the existential angst and fear that nothing really matters because I will live and I will die and no one will know my name. And so today, we need something to replace the village. We need what I'll call a third place. We need a third place in our lives when you live like we do in America. So your first place is your home. Your second place is your work. And then you need a third place. And every culture has a different way of providing a third place. In Ireland, the third place is it's a pub. The pub is not a bar in Ireland or in England. There happens to be a bar in the pub, but it's more than that. Or in Italy or Spain, the third place is often a town plaza. You know, the piazza, the cafes and gelato shops. There are places where people go ritually at certain times of the day, and not just adults, but the whole family goes there to these places to gather with other families and friends. There's often music. They'll tell each other stories. There's food and camaraderie. They'll talk politics and sports and theater. And no one is measured by their economic value. There's a social leveling that happens at the third place. The third place is where chevra happens. It's where community happens. These are the places to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. We all need a third place. And for Jews in America, the third place has often been, and to this day, is the shul. It's the synagogue. Kol Shofar is that third place. And one of the great things about being a rabbi, but not just a rabbi, also other staff who work here, lay leaders, as well as each and every member in our own way, all of us, is that we get the opportunity to build for ourselves and for others a third place. That's what we built over these high holidays. It's what happens every Shabbat and every Sunday morning at Beit Binah. This is our third place where we can connect on what we share, which is the love of our tradition, our desire to learn and grow intellectually and spiritually, our desire to teach our values, our tradition to our children, our love of sharing and celebrating the cycle of the calendar as well as the cycles of our lives. It's a place that we each give and contribute as much as we get. It's where we take care of each other. It's a wonderful and sacred thing to build a third place. Being a part of Kol Shofar means that you get to be a third place builder. So often in America, we go to work, we go to school, we go back home, we go to work, we come home, and that's often it. Maybe we stop at the gym, we shop at the shopping center, but here we get to build a place and share life outside the bounds of family. A communal home where you are seen, where you're somebody, and you're welcome for who you are just the way you are. It's a place where you matter. The synagogue is the ideal third place because it conveys a language of intimacy, a language of community, and a language of transcendence. This is the place where we know each other, share our values, tell our stories, cherish each other, remember each other. So as we move into Ne'ilah together, as the gates of prayer are coming to a close, that we approach them as a family of families. And I want to thank you. And I want to bless you for being my third place for the past several years and in this new year. And when that last shofar blast rings out, the kol shofar, that we bring our prayer and our song and our spirit into yet another year of doing this wonderful, holy, enriching, and sacred work of the third place.